Good evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit Chat. Yeah, I decided to take my hair out just at the time I hit play on the video. So anyways, welcome to our Wednesday night tea time, bedtime, story time. All right, for those who are brand new, we pretty much muse ourselves over the Dave Ramsey debt phone calls. So please feel free to join us. We'd love to have you here. Thank you for joining. For those of you who are familiar with what we do on this channel, kick back, kick your feet up, rest, relax, grab some tea. I got a nice mango protein drink going on. This video ran 11 hours ago. I just became an unexpected millionaire. OMG. All right. 11 hours ago, this guy or gal, this person just became an unexpected millionaire. Isn't that a problem we'd all like to have? I would like to have that problem. Yes, I would like to have that problem. All right, folks. I think we're all set. Thank you for being here. I just became an unexpected millionaire on Dave Ramsey in 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Jonathan is with us in
Hi,
Fort
Jonathan.
Myers, Florida. Hey, Jonathan, what's up in your world?
Hi, how are you doing today, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I had a situation happen a couple years ago during COVID. My mother passed away. She was actually killed by her new husband.
Oh, my gosh.
Man.
OMG. The tea is hot. The tea started out boiling tonight, people. The tea started out boiling. OMG. His mother was murdered by her new husband. I'm assuming that's how he got the $1 million. I don't think there are enough dollar store mirror fans to cool us off. All right, everybody, just hold your horses. We're just gonna. Wow. All right, let's hear more.
Yeah, they were both in their late 70s, and they left me with quite a bit of money.
Well, okay, hold on. He just rolled right over that. Hey, my mother was murdered by her new husband, and now we're on to talking about the money. I mean, I've seen people talk about, foreclosing on their boat with more emotion. Maybe he wasn't that close to the mother. I don't know. I just know that if I were calling in and I were talking about how I just landed $1 million through the murder of a person I supposedly love, it wouldn't be, oh, and Dave, by the way, I just became an unexpected millionaire because my mother was murdered by her husband. But that aside, wow. Maybe this murder didn't just happen. If you have little ears listening, you might want to, check whether they should hear this or not. Although my channel is not created as made for kids. It's not created for made for kids.
Me. Wow. So I never made more than about 85 grand a year.
Okay, he's clearly over the murder. He's either clearly over the murder because it's been long enough. He didn't care about the murder. Hey, it happens. He may not have been that close to his mother. It's like, whatever. All right, I'm going to back this up just 2 seconds. I mean, he's going right over it like either he's had time to process it, but I don't know. All the processing time, I'd have some breaking of emotion in my heart and my voice.
Wow. So I never made more than about 85 grand a year and then was left with a couple $1 million. And I hope I've been doing the right steps with what I've done with it. I just wanted to get mostly some reassurance that I've been doing the right things, or what you would recommend moving forward with this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're all in sticker shock. Meanwhile, the callers is clearly over the deceased state of his family. I'm not going to try to even assume what type of relationship he may or may not have had with his mother. There is no way I could be calling in this casually. I mean, literally, people. Okay, let's think about the bedtime stories we've had. Okay, people have been shopaholics, gambleholics. We've had emotion in those, haven't we? Of course we have. Guy calls us, hey, my mother's been murdered. Hey, you know what? But how should I invest my money? I suspect, alongside from the fact that maybe the crime, I think we'll just call it the crime from here on out. I've said murder more times today than I've said my entire 56 years. other than the crime done, against his mother, I'm thinking maybe they just didn't have a close relationship. Because let's face it, if we think of the topics that we've talked about here, the things that have created emotion, they've been things that are very near and dear to my heart, of course, especially when it comes to dealing with, spending addictions and stuff like that. We've listened to some, kind of heartbreaking phone calls on bedtime story time, have we not? And then we get this call and it's like, if you blinked, you wouldn't even know what this topic was about.
How have you navigated the last few years with the loss of your mom?
Okay, I guess this happened a few years ago. Maybe that's part of it. And some people also, when a loss like that happens, they just emotionally shut off from it, never to be seen, heard, nor thought of again, at least not openly.
The first year wasn't too well, kind of went backwards probably a little bit. And then I got a couple kids and I tried to get myself together and be better for my kids. And I think I've been doing pretty well the last 2 years.
How old are you, Jonathan?
36.
Okay. And I assume the husband's been put in jail?
No, he killed himself afterwards.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm telling you, he's talking about this so casually. But, I've fortunately, knock on wood, I've never been the victim. At least I know, at least from what I know, nobody in our family, okay, at least in my family tree that I'm aware of since being adopted in the 70s, has been a victim of such a crime. So I really am not in a place where I can say how I would emotionally respond and react a couple years afterwards. So we're gonna give him some we're gonna give him a whole lot of leeway on that. I don't understand it myself, just because I think of the things that have happened in my life that have been nowhere near that, and there's been my own demise of finances and stuff, and divorce, whatnot. But for me, I don't think I could call in that casually. But that's just me. So we will leave him in peace about that. We'll just accept that this is where he's at in his life, and we accept that.
Yeah. In our house that we grew up in.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Jeez, man. Well, that just makes it, managing $2 million that you don't know how to manage is freaky enough, and then you put this layer on it, it just gets super freaky, right?
The first thing I think of is blood money, but he's not the one who caused it. It was given to him, so he should look at it. It's hard. Do you look at it as a blessing, a gift? Here's how I would look at it. I sure as heck couldn't say a blessing or a gift. I just could not under these circumstances. But what I would do is I would make a commitment to the one I loved, in this case, it would be the mother. Okay. That I would take the money and do everything in my power to, do the right thing with it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't, that's just hard, because in my head I'd be thinking of the crime. That's what I'd be thinking of. But that's what I would do. I would make a commitment to say, you know what, this was given to me, and I'm going to honor. That's what I would do. I would find a way to honor through my life, through my habits, through my spending, the decisions that I make, the people's lives that I will positively affect as a result of it. I would find a way to honor her memory with what was given to me. That's what I would do with it. That's how I would have to process that in my mind.
Yeah, it's a little more than that. We were left about $2.5 million from our parents, and then he left us another $1.1 million.
Oh, wow.
Which we weren't expecting. We didn't know that we were written into his will.
Wow.
Does that money feel weird, or are you happy to spend it?
I've spent. I haven't really. I wouldn't say I've spent it. I've used most of it to live off of the last couple years from the new husband. Mm-hmm. He left us 2 IRAs, a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am going to jump in and say, okay, and we understand the situation, sensitivity of it, but we are going to look at it from a money point, okay? If he's not careful, all right, and it's if I were a betting person, I'm going to just bet. His money's not going to last that long. He's already used it to basically stop working, Okay, he's got little kids. He's very young. This money was gained tragically, although technically that shouldn't matter. But considering his age, how he gained the money, the age of his kids, where he's at in life, what are the odds that this 2 million is going to last till the day he dies? I think the odds are unlikely. Going to be really honest. He might be able to save a small amount. You give me $2 million at 36, I could retire. And that would just work part-time. But if he's not careful, okay, if his spending, his living habits change drastically from what he was living at, and it's change that requires constant upkeep, this money's going to go through very quickly. And then one day it'll be, well, I had $3 million and now where'd it go? It's just something to think about.
So I've been pulling.
All right, let's get. Yeah, let me get past all the.
Yeah. It's like we have to get past all the crime stuff and let's look at the money.
Answer your question. So, how much money do you have today?
Today, let me just flip over here. I've got total between properties and everything.
Yes.
I would say about 3.5 million. 4
Okay.
million.
All right, and you're still working, making 80.
No, I haven't been working since the day she died.
And that is the first way you start to lose money. That's the first step to losing money. See, what people don't realize, and if you think about, I think about people who won the lottery, okay? And they've had some tragic deaths too. May this man not fall in that situation. But there are horror stories of people after they've won the lottery. But let's, put that aside. But if you... Well, no, we actually can't put it aside because it kind of makes my point. If you think about lottery winners, they spend a lot of money on business. They spend a lot of money on cars. They give away probably an unhealthy amount to family, friends, and everybody they know, okay? But what they forget, they buy property that's too big. The problem is, unlike celebrities that can write a book, make another movie, yada, yada, a lot of people who come into a lot of money don't have a way, they don't have a residual type income to reproduce that level of money. Tom Cruise, if he makes a bad $5 million purchase, chances are he can just go make another sequel movie, okay, to one of his many movies, and he can make the money back. But for most of us, okay, we take those millions, we spend it, there's no other way for us to make it back, so what happens over time? We lose it. The fact that he's just quit his job and is living off his money, that to me, I'm tread carefully because I know he's in a sensitive situation, but even money doesn't care if you're in a sensitive situation or not. Okay. It's like when I got my inheritance, money doesn't care if it's because it came through, the passing of loved ones. So you have to care more than the money does to some extent. Okay. You have to use your common sense and your intelligence, but the fact that he's just basically living off the money, that's a very, very cautious sign to me. I wouldn't make bets that he's going to have this money 10, 20 years later. Although the fact that he's calling into Dave Ramsey is a good step, but it's really going to depend on how much self-control he has. Because it is true, as a lot of people will say, money that's just handed to you is never appreciated, okay, as money that you make. Now, in my case, I appreciate it. And I sat on it for 2 years before I did anything with it.
Oh, wow. Okay. What did you do for a living?
I worked in restaurants mostly, bartender, sommelier, and server.
Okay, so if he were to lose this money, what are his odds of being able to regain that level of money back? Unlikely. I mean, yeah, 85,000 is a good career and stuff, but if you blow through 3 million, this is really a once in a lifetime chance, and hopefully it would only be once in a lifetime, at least under these circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the reason I didn't go back to work was a lot of that. The reason why I made good money was because I was always forward about my life and talking to people about things in my life, and I just felt like I couldn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the money starts to slowly slip away. And if you're telling people you've gotten that money, that's also possibly not a good idea.
Well, you can't go into this part of the story anyway. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you married still or single?
No, I've never been married. I'm single.
You said you
I
had
have,
kids.
two,
Okay.
Yeah, 2 children. One that I have full custody of, one that I split custody.
Okay.
An important part of your recovery moving forward is you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get a purpose, a thing to do, a thing to go to, a thing that you are a part of, that the world's gonna be better because you were a part of it.
Otherwise, all he's going to do is sit around and eventually spend the money, be 10 years older, and the money's gone, and then he's got to go back to work.
You got that?
Yeah, I feel that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to go back to work, Jonathan. Doing something.
Yeah, I'm actually starting a business this year, a tour boat business.
How many people that have let's put the crime behind us. So from here on out, we're going to put the crime behind us. How many people have started a business with unexpected money, and what typically happens to the business over time? They lose it. I'm telling you, I don't see long-term financial success here. This is just my gut instinct. I don't see long-term financial success. I see 10 years, maybe not even 10 years, definitely 15, 20 years. Yeah, I came at all this money and I spent it on the business. I spent it on not working. I overspent for this, that. Now he's going to start a business. Now there's a way to go through some money really fast. Also suck it up in lawsuits.
A what business?
Tour boat?
A tiki boat, tour boat.
Oh, okay. All right. You're buying.
And how many of you are looking for a tiki boat ride right now? Anybody looking for a tiki boat ride? Not knocking his business idea. What I am going to knock is now it's, hey, I've got all this money, so I think I'll start a business. And then he hires a whole bunch of people to help him run the business. They're all shady. Oh, this money could go very quickly.
Buying the boat and gonna do tours.
And do trips on the boat.
When?
Yeah. The boat's going to be delivered in April or May of this year, and we should be operating by June.
Oh.
So he's already started this business. Yeah, because people want to go on a tiki tour boat ride, and then it costs the insurance, the liabilities, yada, yada. Are you feeling me here, folks? Are you feeling me?
Okay.
What did you spend on that boat?
$220,000 total.
There we go, folks. There we go. $250,000. Just like that. Boom. Tiki tour boat. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't see a stable future. I see a $250,000 tiki tour boat, because you see, when it's not yours, it seems like it's endless. It just seems endless. It's not how much you get unexpectedly, or even how. It's what you did with it. He spent $250,000 on a tiki tour boat. Hey, let's do something here, folks. Hold on. Okay, for those of you who are new to this channel, I have been known to step aside and look up stuff because it gets my curiosity. Let us look up tiki tour boat so we can all see what a tiki tour boat looks like here, shall we? I know you're all dying to look at this with me, so hold on here. Let me look up tiki tour boat. Tiki tour boat. Okay. Tiki, how do you even spell tiki? Tiki tour boat purchase. Let's see what a tiki tour boat looks like. Oh, good Lord. Okay, so here's the Tampa yacht sale. Beach cat tiki. I don't know what tiki tour boat looks like, so I'm dying to. Let's get my. Oh, look at that lovely commentator right in the middle of your screen. Okay, folks, there you have it. $250,000 tiki tour boat. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get this further onto the screen. There. Oops. Hold on. Here. I'm trying to get so you guys can see it here. I hope you guys can see it. Let me get my picture out of the way. I'm going to get my picture out of the way. All right. Hold on here. The screen's going to move a little bit, okay? We're just all going to have to deal with it here because I can't stop the recording. It'll take me for forever. All right, folks. There's your tiki tour boat. It looks like it's got a little, I don't know, some places for people to sit, a little hutch. Yep, there's your tiki tour. Now, this may not be a $250,000 boat. I sure as hell hope it isn't. But there's your tiki tour boat. All you need is a tiki tour man and woman playing some ukulele, and maybe a little pink flamingos with a little, I don't know, Mai Tais in it or something. And dancing away in their hula, what is it? Their hula grass skirts. Oh, Lord, maybe a couple violins playing along. There's your tiki tour. So this is the tiki tour boat. Now, I understand he's grieving and all of that. How much money would you pay for this boat? Just a thought. All right, now we're going to take it back. Yep, now that we know what it is. Oh, good Lord. Tiki Tour. Let's see here. Who owns Tiki Tour? Okay, Tiki Tour boats for sale. Oh, let's go to this site. You guys know on this channel it's very, very flexible. All right, let's take a look. We're going to take a look at some Tiki Tour boats here. We're just going to do this for just a minute or so. Oh, this boat's been sold. I wonder if this dude is, I wonder if he bought this boat right down here at the bottom. It said Tiki. I got to move the screen so you guys can see this stuff. Okay, this one's been sold. I wonder if he bought it. Let's see how much this type of Tiki Tour boat sells for. Let's hit the details. Let me not get any details. Okay, completely customized, whatever, BC20 with custom tiki bar stools, LED lighting, cup holders. Well, of course you have to have the cup holders. I mean, where are you going to put your beer? I don't drink, but just saying. Custom sidekick steering, custom bar, safety railings. Good to know that safety is always important. Something to grip onto. Pressurized sink and tons of cool tiki lounge decor. I imagine the decor is mainly grass, hay, whatever. This baby is set up for, it doesn't say this baby, it says she is set up, because we know all Tiki Tour boats are a she. She is set up for recreational charters, including 6 passengers and 1 crew. 90 horsepower Suzuki outboard. Woohoo! Not that I know a thing of what that means. Received regular service and provides ample thrust for close quarter maneuvering. Burning only 1 gallon per hour. You can get a trailer with it. It's a lucrative lifestyle business with 5 years of success. Well, what did I say? Give it about 15 years. 10,000 Facebook followers, yada, yada. Well, folks, there's your... And this boat has been sold, or at least they claim it's been sold. Okay, people, now that we know, we've got a lovely lady here pouring some beer or something like that. Okay, well, my curiosity has now been fulfilled. We're going to take this all the way back down. I had to move the screen. Let's move this all the way back down. Put me back down here. Now, you guys know on this channel, when curiosity hits me, I got to know. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A $250,000 Tiki Tour. How many Tiki Tours is he going to have to get to make that $250,000 up? See, and that's the other thing. When you come into a lot of unexpected money that you didn't have to earn at all, okay? It's easy to accept business losses, right? It's easy to accept the loss because you have so much money, you don't even feel the loss. You didn't work for the money. It wasn't your hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears. So you buy yourself a business, and if the business suffers a loss, well, you've got millions of dollars in the bank, so you're good, at least for a while. But that's the start of the downward spiral. That is, as I've said before, that a bad business deal, which I think this is. I think this is a bad business idea. I could be wrong, so I leave room for error, okay? But let's say my thinking is right. Bad business idea, okay? This is the pebble that caused the ripple in the water. Yes, this is the pebble that caused the great big ripple in the water. I don't think this is a good idea.
Okay. All right. Now you're going to be leaning in, learning how to run a business, learning how to handle and operate the boat. You're going to be leaning in on all of this.
And that's all going to cost what? Tiki Tour boat money, people. Here's the other thing that I think of. I'm sorry, Dave, I'll let you get back to your thought in just a minute. I speak so rarely, I want to make sure I get my thought in. I think one of the things he should ask himself, this is just something I would ask myself, and something I actually did when my late mother and stepdad blessed me, and I do call that a blessing. They blessed me, and they left me my financial gift that allowed me to get this condo and fix it up, even though I did take on a small mortgage. Okay. It was a very small mortgage, I admit. Okay. But one of the things that I did in deciding whether or not I would spend money, whether it was to fix up the condo, purchase the condo, whatever, I asked myself, if my financial situation had not changed, would I still do this action? Would I still buy a $100,000 condo? Would I still seek to buy it even if my financial situation had not changed? Yes, I would still sought to buy it. At one point, I almost bought a $2,000 Peloton bike, the really fancy bikes. I would have bought it out of grief. Now, the good thing with me is I'm actually a fitness enthusiast, as many of you channel watchers know that are my regulars. So the bike would not have been wasted. It really wouldn't have been. But I had to ask myself before I purchased, I thought, okay, getting ready to consider buying a bike in grief, because I love indoor cycling. I absolutely love it. But I had to ask myself, Carrie, if you didn't have inheritance money, okay, which I chose to put into this condo, would I buy a $2,000 bike? And then would I buy a $2,000 bike that I had to maintain, a $2,000 bike that I would have to have I think you have to have a monthly term or subscription service to it to use it. Okay. If you really want to make use of the bike, you got to spend, it's some ridiculous $50 a month service to even make the bike work as far as all the programs. And I asked myself, if your mother had not left you a gift, your mom and, late stepfather had not left you a gift, is this something I would have purchased? And I wouldn't know. I'd never purchased $2,000 on a Peloton bike. So guess what? I didn't purchase it. But I would save money. And I actually had I had a small $25,000 savings account, but I would save money and I would be willing to purchase a very modest condo. Therefore, the condo won and the bike lost. If he had not gotten into this money, would he really be buying a $250,000 tiki boat? Now people can say, yeah, but it may have always been a dream. He just didn't have the money to fulfill the dream. I still say, if he had not gotten the money given to him, how hard would he have been willing to work to start his own tiki tour boat business? How hard? And there's your answer as to whether or not, one, will the business last, and two, will the money overall last? Me thinks the answer is no. The business is not going to last, and the money isn't going to last. So he's already quit his job. He's spent money on a tiki tour boat. He's got all this stuff to finance, from insurance to finding customers to advertising to marketing to where you're going to park the boat, insure the boat. There's a lot of stuff to go with this tiki tour boat.
I want you to go make a living for your sake, because at 36, doing nothing is not a plan.
I think doing nothing is not a plan at any age. Even when I retire from teaching, I will keep a small toe of a pebble in the world of work. You got to have a reason to get up in the morning. I don't want to just sit and watch the traffic go by. I don't want to wake up and not have any reason to know what the weather is, to not have any reason to know what the traffic conditions are, to not have any reason, to know even what the economy is to a certain extent. I want to be involved. I'm too energetic to just sit around and stare at paint on the wall. Whenever I get sick, I swear to God, if I'm at home for more than like 2 days, it's like, I got to get out. I just have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Emotionally, spiritually, John.
I think this business is going to be more of a hobby than it is a business. And I think that's why so many people who land a large amount of money unexpectedly, lotteries, inheritances, whatever, if they're not careful, I think that's the reason so many of their businesses go under. They go in thinking, it's a business, when really it's just a hobby.
John's right about that. Now, so let's pretend that you're making a living. You don't need this money then, right? So now we just need to invest this money well.
Yes.
Okay. Jonathan, I buy two things for investments. The first thing I tell people, and I was with a bunch of wealthy people this weekend, do not put money in something you don't understand. Don't do it because I do it. Don't do it because somebody else says to do it, or you read an article once.
How much does he understand tiki tour boats? Was this his passion? Was this his lifelong dream? Was he like 12 years going, I want my tiki I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time keeping a serious. Okay. Mom, I've always wanted a tiki tour boat. Oh, that was probably wasn't the best example to use of mom. You get what I'm saying. I have been passioning for a tiki tour boat ever since I was 10 years old and a kid. I didn't want G.I. Joe. I wanted my tiki tour boat.
That's a nightmare way to lose money. Put money in something you understand. Now, that may mean you need to go to school a little bit by sitting with an investment advisor and letting them teach you. But I buy real estate that I pay cash for because I
Wait, you don't buy tiki tour boats for $250,000?
like the real estate business.
I've done that already.
Okay. And I buy mutual funds. And that's all
yes,
I buy.
Okay. I've got about total about 1.8 million in real estate.
Okay. And it's making money, right?
I have one house that's going to be worth about 1.2 million, and I'm planning on renting that.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be. When?
It's gonna be. And how many renters are available to rent that?
Why is it not worth that now?
It's about to be finished being built, and I think in March or April.
This guy's going to spend it all. This guy is going to spend everything. Mark my words. He is going to spend it. He's going to spend it. This is the perfect example of the lottery winner comes into, millions of dollars, and they just start throwing money out everywhere. They're acting like they're an expert at everything, but yet they know nothing. Wow. At this point, if you were thinking of being jealous, I don't think we have we have no reason to be jealous to begin with, okay, especially under these circumstances. But like I said, put the crime aside. I'm looking at this going, holy cow. He's buying a tiki tour boat. He's buying property. Now, part of it is probably being done through grief, but it has been a couple of years. So it's a safe time period after a couple of years to, start doing stuff. But what I see him doing is just pretty much seemingly buying everything.
April of this year, it'll be done.
Okay. All right. So you're going to have
and then I have another rental house, and then I have the house I live in.
Okay. That's fine. Great. Now manage those to where they make a good return on the amount of money you have tied up in them, and then sit down with a good someone like a SmartVestor Pro. You can find them at RamseySolutions.com, and they'll help you sit down and start to understand some mutual funds and invest it. But I mean, if you make 10% on $3 million average across those investments, then you'd have $300,000 a year coming in. If you don't touch it in 7 years, that $3 million at 10% would be worth about $4 million, or would be worth about $6 million.
Why do I think that's not going to happen? I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just watching what he's doing. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer. It's not my money. Not my money. But a part of me is just going, yikes. Is he really going to sit down and calculate all this? Remember what I've said before on this channel, and I can't take credit for this quote because, it's been said many times by many people before me. All money does is bring out more of who you are. Let me repeat that. All money does is bring out more of who you are. If he's a fast spender, doesn't think about his actions before he goes into it. I mean, right now, I see the guy, he's supposedly going to be an expert landlord. He's going to be an expert tiki tour boat holder. Okay, I don't see him focusing on one thing and really making it work. Okay, as he calculated how many people can afford to rent a $1.2 million home, what's going to be his base? Who's going to rent that? How's he going to manage it? How's he going to manage the tiki business? How many customers is he going to need per year for that $250,000 tiki boat to be paid off, say, in just a few years? Has he scouted the area? Has he looked at the pricing of his competition? Has he mathematically done it? I'm willing to bet the answer to that is all no. This is just my hunch. Okay, just my hunch. He's buying on a wing and a prayer. Has he really researched the marketplace that he's wanting to build in? I mean, just one of those alone could be time consuming. being a landlord or being a tiki boat operator. I see this tiki boat just sucking up tens of thousands over the course of a year. It's already sucked up tens of thousands, sucked up $250,000. The money looks wealthy because it's not had enough time to start getting spent. But now that's starting to get spent, it's going really fast.
In 7 more years, it'd be worth about 12. In 7 more years, it'd be worth 24. That's 21 years from today. You're 36. That puts you at 57 with $24 million.
Yeah, and the lottery winners that won $10 million, they could have done the same thing. And what happened? It all got spent.
I like that.
Okay, that's you working, providing your own living, not touching these investments, and letting them just grow at an average growth rate of 10% a year. And that's invested in mutual funds and real estate.
What I see is a man who doesn't have financial discipline. I think that's what it is. Like I said, money just makes you more of what you are. I was already conservative, all right? Yeah, I had my 2 bankruptcies, but that was due to other things. But my root nature, who I am, it's kind of like the core of you, the very, very core of me, wasn't a financially irresponsible person. Mentally ill person, yes, but not financially irresponsible. That wasn't the core of me, which is why when I was able to get mentally healthy and back on my feet and be a regular part of society, yada, yada, okay, how'd I turn out? Okay, because the core of me was always very financially responsible. So even when I came into some money, I didn't just blow it. The core of who this guy is going to be what dictates his money and how long it lasts. It's not going to change him. It's just going to make him more of what he already is. I just don't see good things happen. I mean, I hope, great things happen to him and he's able to make it last for generations. I don't see it though.
Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but basically that's how the math will roll out. The trick here to the thing is put money in stuff that's steady and is predictable, not super conservative, but we're not taking any big risks here. We're not trying to reinvent the crypto world or some bull
and
crap
don't buy
like
a tiki boat for $250,000 and then 6 months go and be like, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna buy a snow cone stand and then you're gonna
stay on
small
track.
business.
All right, I'm going to end it at that, folks. I'm telling you, I don't see good things happening. I mean, of course, we wish him nothing but the best blessings, but I just don't see great things happening on this. All right, folks. But again, we wish him all the best. We are at 37 minutes. We are at 8:45. It's time for me to call it a night. Again, I would like to thank you so much for joining me. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit Chat. Thank you for being here. I do hope you will consider subscribing. And let's do our closing. If you are watching this tomorrow when you are at work, I wish you the most beautiful Thursday ever. If you are watching this as you are exercising tomorrow in the morning, afternoon, or evening, don't forget to check your heart rate. And for those of you who are having tea with your toast as you are watching this, please save me a slice. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit Chat. Have a great Wednesday night. Bye.